It seems like Sledgehammer Games may be canceling some planned Modern Warfare 3 multiplayer features, but this is actually good news. I'll go through why in this video. So as most of you guys probably know by now, Sledgehammer Games recently revealed their new title for 2023, Modern Warfare 3. We got our first reveal trailer, we got a ton of multiplayer information, some zombies info as well, and this past week we got some gameplay, first-person gameplay of Modern Warfare 3. It was the first campaign mission in the game, and in that gameplay we got a look at what this game actually looks like. Off the bat, the reception seems to be pretty good, fairly positive. The graphics look great, look upgraded from years prior. Everything looks good. The multiplayer info especially is really sick. We're getting a bunch of classic features returning. They should have been here to begin with, but at least they're returning, such as map voting, the classic mini-map, a slightly slower TTK, just so many different features that people have been wanting that we just haven't seen in the past couple games, besides for Cold War. But MW19, Vanguard, and MW2 last year, we're really missing some key multiplayer features. It seems like Sledgehammer is bringing us back to our roots here with Call of Duty, which is good to see. But there are some controversies here and some issues that people have with the game in terms of the game being too similar to MW2. Obviously, there were rumors about this game being a year 2 expansion to MW2, and instead they're making it a paid premium Call of Duty. Now, regardless of your opinions on that, I think even if it was a DLC expansion, it would have been a ton of money anyway. They would have put a ton of content into it to make it worth the price, at least semi-worth the price, right? But Call of Duty came out and said their original plans were to make MW3 a full release, which I do believe. The leaks sometimes can get messed up, and I think it was always supposed to be some type of expansion of MW2, but still a separate game. Whatever your opinion is on that, this is something that came out that people have had an issue with here. And it seems like Sledgehammer is potentially responding to this hate here and changing something up and canceling some features. So here's what Sledgehammer tweeted out when they revealed a bunch of campaign gameplay a couple days ago. They said, throughout an open combat mission, players can scavenge new weapons, equipment, and kill streaks, evolving the arsenal and enabling new strategies. Learn more at the COD blog. And here is a tweet of the loadout UI in Modern Warfare 3. Now, this is of course the campaign, so you could say that this is going to look different in multiplayer, but obviously based on this image here, they're following the almost exact same layout from what we saw in MW2, and this was throughout the entire game. Very similar horizontal Hulu style user interface that we're seeing not just in the loadout of MW2, but in all of the menus, most of the menus in this current game and in Warzone as well. And that just fuels more of the rumors, partly that this year was going to be a year 2 DLC instead of a full separate game. But it also could just be that they're just following a similar format to what we saw last year. That could be entirely true as well. So again, regardless of your opinion on that, people don't really like this user interface. I mean, it's pretty clear that people find it very difficult to use, not that intuitive. They recently did update the create a class menu to have all 10 of your classes show up on the same page. Previously, you had to scroll through to all the classes, so they're making some changes to make it a bit more vertical, a bit more easy to understand and easy to access, at least in terms of some of the menus there. But most of the menus are still very horizontal, and here was a look at MW3 continuing the horizontal design. But what's interesting is that they actually deleted this tweet here. The Ghost of Hope said this: why did they delete this? The UI seen here is not present in most recent builds, and they didn't want negative PR for something already gone from their game. That's a pretty interesting point here. Maybe they actually accidentally released this here and they realized, wait a second, this is not the actual UI, and the new UI for MW3 is actually going to be a more classical type of user interface, something that people would prefer, a more vertical look. So that could be a point as well. Maybe they deleted it because of the negative backlash and they're actually changing the UI as we speak. That could be something as well. Very interesting stuff here. So let me know down below your opinions on that MW3 UI. That was our first look at it, and they deleted our first look at that. Weird stuff. But let's go back actually and see what UI we've had in previous games to see, you know, what they should do, what we should strive for, what they should remove, and why it may still be pretty similar to what we saw last year. Modern Warfare 2019 had a very classic and honestly a sleek UI here, at least in multiplayer. I mean, it was similar for all parts of the game, but we're focused on multiplayer here. This is a pretty standard, good-looking UI. We, of course, have quick play here, which is a relatively newer feature here in Call of Duty, where you could filter through all different modes, click on quick play, and then you'll get those modes you picked in the playlist there. But as you can see, everything is laid out in a nice fashion. It's all vertical, core, hardcore, Call of Duty League, etc. There is no official league play in this game, which did suck, but regardless, we're focused on the user interface here. We're focused on the look of the game and the look of the menus, and the look here is solid. We have some other playlists here, which are kind of like the what's hot section of what we have now. I'll go through that later on in this video, but instead of a different area of what's hot, the new trending playlist, the new playlist in the game, we have that right here in the main page. You don't have to move around. You go right here, and it's all right in front of you. Private match as well. Pretty solid stuff here with the weapon selection as well. We have edit loadouts, kill streak, field upgrades, all vertically here. Very easy to access. In the loadout section, we'll go even further here. Again, all vertical. Here are some old classes I had, I guess, from Warzone 1, but regardless, very standard stuff here. Primary weapon, gunsmith, similar look for the gunsmith, but it's just a lot easier to access here. If you go back, everything's all vertical. You don't have to scroll through endless rows horizontally, which may look kind of pleasing, but if it takes more time to get to what you want to get to, it's not going to be really a benefit in the end, at least in my opinion, even if it kind of looks good, or if some designers think it looks good. I think for the most part, it's not as functional. And the vertical layout here looks great as well. On the left, you have the menu. On the right, you have a nice picture of what you're looking at. The tactical, lethal, you could scroll through all these here and it shows up on the right. I mean, really, really solid stuff here. Something like this in MW3 would be fire, honestly. And it's a very similar thing here with all these things. Field upgrades as well. This is actually horizontal, but at least it's all in the same area. It's the same menu. You don't have to scroll through. They could have done this vertically on the left corner there, but that's fine. Vehicle customization, it's kind of like a mixture here, but still, it's all in the same menu, which is good as well. So you're seeing a very similar theme here with MW19. Most of the actual menus are vertically placed with some pictures or some background on the right or in the center. And that is a very nice way, a very clean way, an efficient way to have a menu. And obviously for MW3, that would probably be what people want to see the most. Let me know down below your opinions on that. Now for Black Ops Cold War, again, a very similar vibe. Vertical layout here, how Call of Duty always had their MP menus. Quick plays here as well. You have the different, you know, what's hot playlist. Whenever there was a new map pack or, you know, season that came out and the new DLC map came out, you would have a 24/7 playlist for that. Nuketowns here. All the different playlists you want, custom games as well, all very similar stuff. For the weapon menu here, if it'll ever load, the shaders should probably load. Similar vibe as well. Create a class, score streaks, accessories, etc. Create a class here again. Also vertical. When you click on this here, this I don't think this is, yeah, it's taking a while to load because of my shaders, but obviously when you hover over the weapon here, you get a preview of what it looks like on the right, which I think is a very cool vibe. Obviously gunsmith as well, a bit different than the Modern Warfare series here, where again it's still vertical. The gunsmith for MW19, the menu was vertical, but the actual gunsmith itself was a little more horizontal. This here is just all completely vertical. Of course Trick would do all vertical, and this one is cool as well. I don't know if I like this better than the Modern Warfare style gunsmith, because it's kind of cool to have the optic selection right above the actual optic on the weapon, or the muzzle right where the muzzle is. I mean, the Modern Warfare style is cool and on that front, but for this as well, it's a very easy to access all of the attachments here. They're all right next to each other, no scrolling required. This is a pretty solid way to do this here. Appearance here as well, weapon mastery, all pretty cool stuff. So a very similar vibe here, but still the main consensus is it's vertical, which is what most people want to see here. Sledgehammer's last Call of Duty title, Vanguard, not my favorite COD. I don't think anyone's favorite COD actually, but the multiplayer UI, not too bad. Very similar to MW19, right? We have quick play, the what's hot playlist again, private match down there. Very standard stuff here for weapons as well. Again, vertical, loadouts, kill streaks, etc. Vertical again, custom class here. weapons on the left, everything customizable on the left here, and it shows what you're looking at on the right. I like all that stuff. Very cool, very standard. What's interesting is actually the operator selection menu. This was the first introduction of some type of horizontal thing. Like, this didn't have to be horizontal in my opinion. This just doesn't really make sense. They should have had 2 rows here, or had the operators vertical and you could sort them by their factions, whatever. I don't know how they would have done it otherwise, but there's probably better ways to do it than how they did it here. So this was the first hint of the horizontalness of Call of Duty here in Vanguard, but overall the UI not too bad. And of course, finally, what we have right now, Modern Warfare 2, where everything is just horizontal. Here is kind of the main menu here for the MP playlist that they have. We have Ground War as well, Raid, Spec Ops here, all across, co-op as well, some more missions there, ranked play, campaign. I mean, you know, it's not terrible, and I want to make this clear because this is not the worst thing in the world. Obviously, a horizontal menu doesn't impact the actual gameplay that much. You know, I'm still enjoying MW2 for the most part. Not my favorite game, but it's not a bad game in my opinion. But it does hurt the experience a little bit, and it's just a little weird having everything horizontal, having to scroll through. It just doesn't make sense. I do like, however, it is kind of seamless going from multiplayer playlist to Raid Episode 1 right there, to a different Spec Ops mission, scroll down to the campaign, private match. I mean, it all is pretty cool on the same page. I just feel like there's a better way to get this done. There's a better way to have all these menus categorized here, just vertically. Imagine if this was all vertical on the same page and you didn't have to scroll through anything. It was all right there. I feel like that'd be cool. And for the COD HQ as well, you know, we have MW2, What's Hot playlist, or, you know, MW2/Warzone. We have the different bundles for MW3, whatever, MW2. This is the main MW2 page, actually. But down here, Warzone, legacy games as well. I get what they're going for, and I do like the newer style of the COD HQ. The different menu pictures are cool, and it is kind of seamless to go from game to game. It's just the way they're doing it might not be the best way. Let me know down below if you agree or disagree with me here. I actually wouldn't mind if the COD HQ stayed the same way here. So here's a concept of MW3 in the COD HQ. You have the big icons here, multiplayer, ground war, all the side modes, etc. on that page there. What I would want to change, though, is the actual game. Once you get into Modern Warfare 3, have it look like this. This was an old concept of MW2 and Warzone 2 from Harrison Makes Things. Shout out to him. Links to him will be down below. A really classic vertical Call of Duty menu. Something we've seen in the past, but a bit different. The icons seem to be a bit bigger as well. And the icons are cool because you actually do have some cool pictures when you hover over the icons. People have been saying that, you know, the horizontal icons are interesting because you get like a good preview of what the mode is all about. You get some cool screenshots shown off. You could do that as well in a vertical menu as you see up on screen. Here's another menu as well for multiplayer. For this is back from MW2, but we could see the same type of thing for MW3 as well. And here's another one actually I'll put up on screen of an MW3/Warzone concept for this year. Again, credit to all of these images will be down below in the description. Really cool designs here, but this one is a cool theme as well. You have the operator showcased, the vertical layout on the left, but you still have those bigger, blockier icons there for the different game modes, for the different maps, whatever the menu's showing, whether it's the weapon selection menu, etc. You could still have a similar vibe there with those bigger, blocky icons with the images in the background, but have it more vertical. You can see on top as well, as you scroll through R1, L1, you could get those different game modes there, and it'll all pop up right on screen. So I feel like, again, that's a better way to do things. The HQ being up on top and then having everything pop up right on screen. I feel like that's just a better way. Again, let me know down below your opinions on this. I think overall, is this the biggest deal in the world? No, it's not a major deal. What we care most about is the actual core gameplay changes, or at least what I care most about. The maps, the weapons. Is the game actually fun to play? Because the UI could look great, but if the game's not fun to play, who cares? But I do think the UI, you know, makes the experience a lot better, and it is kind of annoying. Like, when I first played MW2, it was kind of weird going through the menus and trying to figure out where's quick play and backing up. It was a little weird at first. Obviously, I'm used to it now, but at first, I mean, if you're a casual player and you never played Call of Duty, I feel like it would be kind of weird. I don't know. So let me know down below, would you want these major changes here to be made? Do you care about the vertical nature of the old Call of Duty menus? Do you prefer the more horizontal nature of these newer menus? Let me know down below. That's it here for this video, though. Subscribe for more videos like this. Shout out to the YouTube channel members as always, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys.